Hi, I'm Brynne. I like to think that God has a rough draft basically written out for everyone before they're even born. That's full of stories and life lessons, laughs, cries, love, hate. God was introduced into my story very, very early on. My dad started working here at church when I was just 2 months old. And so I've been coming to Sunday school just about every single Sunday. I was in children's choir and I did Bible Bowl. And I thought this was just as good as I needed to be. I had my weekly dose of Jesus, and it wasn't until second grade that I really got to know God. And this all happened when I went to Mexico with my dad and my older sister Shelby. For 2 weeks we were going to be living in tents without running water or electricity and building houses for some of the natives who were in dire need of a new home or just something to live under. And for these 2 weeks I got to spend time with amazing people, amazing Christians with incredible hearts. And together we built houses, but also a community. They had nothing. This first family that we built a house for was a family of 5 that lived in a single room house that was smaller than my own living room. But they were still so full of life and character, and even if they had nothing, because they had God, they had everything. And I realized how, I don't want to say shallow, but how just not in depth my relationship was. And it was during this time that I decided I wanted to get baptized. And I didn't get baptized that summer, but the next summer when my entire family went, all 3 of my sisters and both my parents, that I was baptized. I had a whole year of growth. And when I was there, I really felt like it was my time. I was able to be baptized in Mexico, in the ocean, and so much of my heart and my life is owed to that community, to those people in Mexico who really helped me understand God and helped me grow, and my journey would not be the same if I had not been to Mexico. It wasn't just in that moment because, when you're on a mission trip like that, everything is so overwhelming that it wasn't just a decision that I just wanted to make while I was there, and then when I got home it was just gonna be flatline. And even though that chapter of my story, that Mexico story, it's done, my book is nowhere near its end. When my parents got divorced a couple of years ago, it was a really hard time for me and my sisters and just my family in general, and that was a good time when I needed to fall back on God. I see all the things that I thought were so terrible at the time, they've worked out. My family might not be exactly the same as it was, but in some ways it's so much better. My sisters have this thing in common with me that we have grown together, and then just getting to see God still in my life so constantly and consistently, even despite all this stuff that happened that wasn't good. So much good did come out of it. Now I'm able to help other people because of it and be able to share my story with them and how God had helped me and how God can help them. I still have hundreds and hundreds of pages left, hopefully. And with those pages, I need to keep walking with God. I need to keep following Him. No book just is boring, has a really good part, and then finishes boring again. And so I am challenging myself to grow with God, to keep walking with Him, and to bring others towards Him. Everyone, no matter how long you've been in your relationship, no matter how far you are in your book, you still have room to grow, to keep growing, and to keep falling in love with God. And this book, this story that we're all writing and reading of ourselves is an incredible one, and it's never too late to get started.